What's going on, guys? It's Noah back again for another video. This is going to be 5 things that I hate about my Toyota Tacoma. That being said, everything can be changed except for the most part relatively, so we'll kind of get into it. The first thing is, believe it or not, the alignment tabs that are on your lower control arms. Having 35s on here, it is ridiculous. I mean, I feel like every time I hit something relatively hard because of how big the tires are, it just knocks it out of alignment. Tacomas are kind of notorious for that, having the big offset, a little bit of offset on the tires. You can see, and running 35s doesn't help. You can get the Total Chaos Fab alignment brackets that are pretty stiff. You weld the 2 tabs on it. You got like a back plate, and you weld the 2 tabs on the side. You cut the old alignment tabs off, weld it on there, paint back over it, go get an alignment done. I've seen some reviews, guys running those with 35s or 33s, and they say that they don't have any more problems with it. So the next one is, we'll just stick with the 35 theme, is in order to run 35s, there is a lot of trimming that's got to be done. Alrighty, now that we're all flipped, you can see there's a lot of trimming that's got to be done. I've only run in a 2-inch lift in the front and then like a 2.5-inch in the rear because I hate sag. I'd rather have some rake. I think rake looks pretty good on trucks, and then when you level, you load it down, you level it out. So that being said, there is a lot of trimming that's got to be done. A lot of it's your normal stuff, like you gotta, cut your pinch welds right here. You got to cut your body mounts. You got to cut this. Unless you go with quite a bit bigger lift, like a 3-inch lift, you probably don't have to cut any of this stuff. But I just don't like the overall height look of that, so that's why we cut it. It kind of looks gnarly when it's all close up like that, but just regular driving down the road, stuff like that, it's really hard to tell. So, all right, on to the next one. The next thing that I hate, it goes back to the 35s, is the stock gearing. The stock gearing in the Tacomas is fine if it's stock, but with the Ford Raptor and the Ranger Raptor and the ZR2 that you can get with the diesel and all this other stuff, even like a Jeep Gladiator, truck themed stuff, right? It really, the stock gearing in the Tacomas has got to get fixed, in my opinion, from the factory. Even just a little bit. I get, like, there's a lot of people out there that buy Tacomas and don't do this with them. But again, a lot of people that are at the Trail Hunter was just released at SEMA a couple days ago. So it's one of those things where Toyota knows that people are upgrading the crap out of these trucks. And in order to, I think, stay relevant with some of the competition, other than just, Toyota relying on their reliability of their platforms overall, they really need to make some better stock gearing for the trucks. It's not horrible. I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be, where they say you have to get it re-geared. You have to get it tuned. You have to get it re-geared. All this stuff if you're going to run 35s. I don't have a tune and I don't have a re-gear. I average like 12 miles to the gallon, which is probably only 3 miles to the gallon less than when I was on 33s, the BFG KO2s, which are good tires. But again, it still does 80 down the interstate. I really don't speed, so the speed limit in a lot of Utah, once you get out of the city area, is 80, and then 70, no problem. It likes 55 a lot for some of these smaller highways, which is where I get the best gas mileage. So I don't think it's necessary. I'll probably still do it just to help out. It does lack the power. I mean, it's definitely a noticeable difference. But again, I don't think it's as necessary as people think, or reviewers make it seem to be, where, if you're going to get 35s, you have to immediately get a re-gear and a tune, which is nuts, right? I mean, you got to spend, you're looking at $1,000 to $1,500 for the re-gear. You're probably looking at another $400 to $600 for the tune. And you're already paying, $1,800 for your 35s, plus your lift and all that other stuff. So if it were me, I don't run into any problems with it. I like the 35s a lot. I like these Yokohamas a lot. So on to the next one. Next one is kind of a double. It's a pro and a con, right? So the Tacomas are a smaller sized truck. So with that, you get more maneuverability. You get the good wheelbase, good breakover angle, good departure angle, everything like that. But the con to that is the cab space, the amount of space in the cab. You can see I don't sit super close to the steering wheel, but I also don't sit super far away. And I've got 2 kids, both of them in car seats, so this is my toddlers. And you can see this is literally barely about as wide as my hand from where it touches to each point. So, you know, if you were to stick a full-size adult back here, the space would definitely be tighter. But again, it's kind of a pro and a con. There is still a decent amount of leg room up front. That being said, I'm 5'9", my wife is 5'7". When we do have our little girl's car seat back here, this foot space is almost unsittable for me because you do have to kind of put this seat up at a stiffer, you know, more upright angle. And then the knees, if you do anything but have them like in a certain position, they definitely, my knees hit the dash, the glove box up here. So again, it's kind of a pro and a con. The pro being that you get the shorter wheelbase, you know, better breakover angle than a full-size truck. But again, the cab space, I think Toyota could figure out a way that if you get like almost like what they do with the Tundras, where if you get you could do like a 4-door long bed, but instead of the long bed, you get like a super cab or something like that. Maybe it'd look stupid, I don't know. It's just an idea, but again, yeah, pro and con. You gotta take what you can get. So better wheelbase, less cab space. The payload on the Tacomas is pitiful. So in order to run my shell, my OVS awning, the tent, the cooler, all of the camp stuff like that, you either got to have really stiff springs, which is not a big deal. It's not like you're going to notice it. I chose to run some airbags, which I showed in my walk around video, which should be last week's video. If you guys are watching this video, it depends on how I upload them. The airbags are awesome though. I love the airbag setup. They took me like 2 hours to install by myself in my dad's shop, which is super convenient. But that being said, you could do it in a driveway with hand tools. You don't have to have air tools. You don't got to have you know, power tools or anything like that. But the payload is horrible. It feels like when I got my truck, I had the guy that put it on there just a lift block and then these Falcon shocks, and I barely put the tent on it and it sagged. Granted, you know, you're already running the 200-pound shell, 150-pound tent. But again, that's pitiful to run a shell in a tent and already have sag. And then, you know, you still gotta add your camp stuff in there, your clothes, your food. You know, whether you're running a cooler with ice, that's another 50 pounds. So I think, again, Toyota just came out with the Trail Hunter trim. Hopefully one of the things that they're doing on those for people, you know, future buyers or people that are looking to upgrade or anything, is better payload capacity for overlanders, off-roaders, that kind of stuff. So alrighty guys, so that was 5 things that I hate about my Toyota Tacoma. That being said, all those things are upgradable, all those things are self-inflicted. If you get a stock Toyota Tacoma or you run it on like 33s or 32s, the re-gear's, you know, unnecessary. The tune's probably unnecessary. While it would help, it is unnecessary on like 32s or 33s. Other than probably the payload and the cab space, is 6s for everything else. So thanks for watching. If you guys have anything else you want to see, put them in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate it, and it makes a big difference on YouTube, helping other people see our videos. So peace.